Y'all, it's really gonna hurt my heart to make this video, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And I say it's gonna hurt my heart because this individual has always been when he was playing during his basketball tenure, he was one of my favorite players to watch. Period. He was exciting. He was scoring 50 point. He had 50-point games. He was winning NBA Finals MVPs. He was winning MVP. So he was exhilarating to watch, and he had a fun-loving personality. But now as a grown man, something hasn't really rubbed me right about Shaquille O'Neal in the last couple of years. I appreciate his basketball knowledge and expertise. I even love the post game and halftime show that they do, what he does with Kenny the Jet Smith, Charles Barkley, and Ernie Johnson. I think it is one of the most hilarious segments in all of sports, and I really appreciate it. But Shaq, as of recently, Shaq he's shown me to be a person that I feel like he'll do anything for money. As long as a dollar is attached to it, Shaq will do anything. He'll do anything for some bread and some attention. And it's funny because you would think a guy that's 7'1" and 335 pounds, or at least that's what he weighed, or was reported to weigh during the prime years of his basketball career, you would think a person that big wouldn't always want to be the center of attention, because when they walk in a room, they fill up a room and people are already staring and stopping and staring and looking at that, looking at that person. But Shaq, oh no, he got to take it a step further. Now, it's been reported that Shaq has joined the board of directors for Papa John's, a company who received a lot of backlash after, sales declined in the pizza. And it's the then CEO, John Shatner, came out and blamed the company's declines in sales on the NFL's leadership or handling of the NFL player protest, right? Regarding the national anthem. Then he stepped down after he made those comments. And then over the summer, it's been reported that he used racial slurs over a conference call, right? So now here comes Shaq to the rescue, Superman at his finest. Maybe that's why he got it. Maybe that's why he got that name, with his cape flying high, to save Papa John's and try to help restore the image. Now, I will remind y'all, I will never tell a man what he should or shouldn't do with his money. But in this instance, I will feel like I would want to know, why would Shaq want to help them so much, and instead of just starting a black-owned pizza company to help, employ his people and give other people opportunities of employment. Why would you want to just go? Why Papa John's? Why would you want to jump on that bandwagon? Why wouldn't you just start your own pizza company, a black-owned company, and give your people jobs that they've been looking for? Because I remember when, and this is really the reason why I'm getting around to it. When Colin Kaepernick was protesting the flag, Shaquille O'Neal came out and said he does not, basically saying he didn't support it. He said it was something that he would never do, due to the fact that his father, Philip Harrison, was a military man, and also due to the fact that Shaq is trying to toe the line. He's not trying to step on any toes or ruffle feathers. He's never been a guy to ruffle feathers on political issues at all. Only basketball, because he's always want to keep his associations with being a police officer, and with also being with the military as well. He doesn't want to ruffle any feathers or nothing like that. But then when the man said, why wasn't Colin Kaepernick, why hadn't he been doing this? Why now? Why didn't he do this last year or the year before that? Guys that usually come in on their stance, Muhammad Ali, they come in like that. Why he didn't come in like that? And I say, fool, Malcolm X was once Malcolm Little, right? Fool, he had an awakening, and then he realized what his purpose was and what fight he should have been fighting in the first place. He went through the time when he was just a knucklehead running through the streets, but he changed. And people change, and people realize they grow as a people, or grow as a person, and they evolve, for the better. So why are you questioning when he did it instead of talking about what he's doing and what he was fighting for? I always looked at Shaq funny when he came out and made those segments. He's sitting up so proudly. What was it on Fox News? And he was sitting up there talking and basically saying Colin Kaepernick should have been doing this. Why he just doing it now? Almost insinuating, in my opinion, that he was saying Colin Kaepernick was doing it only because he didn't have the starting job anymore. And I'm like, Shaq, really? Really? That man couldn't grow up and become aware? And you can see that his transition was natural, that it wasn't anything forced, because you would see the things that he was posting during the summer before the starting job was even announced, that he didn't even have a starting job. You would see the things that he was posting. He was growing as a person, as a man, and he was posting things that were a lot different than what he used to post. Talking about, his faith, and talking about certain political issues and things like that. You could see the growth in him over his social media, but not Shaq saying you should have been doing this, you should have been doing this. So now John Shatner blamed the sales decline on the player protest, which was directly associated and initiated by Colin Kaepernick. So here comes Shaq coming aboard Papa John's to help save the day. And this is my thing with Shaq. Because Shaq always, because of his fun-loving personality, he be this big, tall dude that's always dancing and acting silly and acting goofy, that the dominant society loves him so much. Now, you got the minorities, like black people and Hispanic people. They like him too. We feel like he has a big personality, is fun, and, he's larger than life and all of that. But the dominant society has an infatuation with Shaq. And Shaq knows that. So I feel like he tried to stay in a good graces in any way possible, because he wanted to be, Shaq from the moments from when he first stepped foot in the NBA. Shaq always wanted to be a movie star. He always wanted to be on TV. He always wanted to be just larger than life. He always wanted to be the center of attention. Even with Kobe at times and other players, you can sense that he wanted to be the center of attention as well. And Kobe too, they both wanted to. But Shaq, you can see certain tendencies that Shaq had in him. Certain tendencies where he wanted to be the main spotlight, jealousy tendencies, which is why him and Penny Hardaway didn't work out, because when Penny started getting his commercials and a little Penny doll, Shaq felt some type of way. So you can see that Shaq has a certain type of personality about himself, right? He wants to be the center of attention of everything. But Shaq has ingratiated himself with the dominant society so much that I think, and somebody pointed this out on Twitter, if Shaq worked in Fortune 500 company, like he's in a lot of different, he dibbles and dabbles in a lot of different business. If he worked in the corporate America, 9 to 5 corporate America, and he's amongst nothing but white people, Shaq will be the person when a racial joke is cracked and the person says, hey, hope it's no offense, when you know they had just insulted you and your people blatantly. Shaq will be the person that say, none taken, none taken. He'll be that person. He seems like that person. Even when it's something that should be extremely offensive to him as a black man, Shaq seems like the person to say, no offense, none taken, it's all right, it's cool. I don't look at things like that. I don't look at it like that. Shaq look like the type of person that'll tell, he acts like a type of person that'll tell a white person that cracks a racial joke that I don't see color. He look like he'll say something like that. And I realized that about Shaq over the last couple of years. I really, really realized it. Like, man, like, Shaq really come across as the none-taken black man. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying you got to be Malcolm X. I just felt like it was stupid, though, when he said, why couldn't he been doing this? Like, a lot of our leaders weren't living past lives that were detrimental to society. Then they hit a flip of the switch and changed and grew as a man for the betterment of black people and society as a whole. But again, I'm not saying that Shaq has to be militant like he got to be Muhammad Ali or nothing like that. But what I'm saying is that Shaq just seems like the type of person who will say none taken when a racial joke is cracked in his face. He seems like that type of guy that'll just go with the flow, even when racial jokes are being cracked. I don't look at color. I don't see color. He look like he'll say that as a black man. And that's very concerning because of how much power and how much respect that he has in the media world. And we can say we should never look at these celebrities as leaders of our community. And we don't most of the time. We don't. You know, some people do, but a lot of times we don't. But the dominant society sees them as our leaders because they're in positions of power where people know them and they have huge influence. So Shaq saying certain things and go on with the flow with a lot of things when it's very clear what side he should be on. Or when I say what side he should be on, not even just the Colin Kaepernick situation. I feel like if somebody cracked a racial joke to Shaq, and it should be and it's something that is very offensive, he would just say it's none taken. Shaq wouldn't even be on the side he's supposed to be on. He'd just fall in line. Just to not ruffle any feathers. And again, I'm not attacking anybody for not having the same views that I have. But it's just like, it's just something that it's just something about Shaq that I see that in him. And again, a great player. I still watch his clips. I still feel like he is definitely a Hall of Fame player. I still feel like he's the most dominant player to ever play the game. And I still feel like that segment that he does is hilarious because they have great chemistry with each other. I'm speaking of him, Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Charles Barkley. They're entertainment. They're entertaining. And again, I know Shaq did for black people. Did black people a service when he had his shoe company, the Shaquille O'Neal shoes, where, you know, he made a shoe that was affordable for the African American community, while other individuals were charging $100s, $200, $300 for shoes. He made things affordable. And that should be greatly appreciated and something he should be commended on. But again, I'm going to call it how I see it. And Shaq strikes me as a person, like dude said on Twitter, and I got that from a dude on Twitter, he strikes me as the none-taken black man when a racial joke that should clearly be offensive to him is said. And, yeah, man, it's just like, I don't know. And then when he said this stuff about Colin Kaepernick, how he should have been doing it. Now, he could have said he's not going to protest. He's not going to kneel during the anthem. He can't do it because his father fought in the military and it's just not something he could do. That's fine. But when he goes out to say he should have been doing this, why wasn't he doing this the year before? Why wasn't he doing that? And it's like, what? What? Shaq, that's like asking your 18-year-old self, why wasn't you involved in businesses? And why didn't you have the entrepreneurial mindset that you had back then? People change. People grow. When they grow as a man, they grow and they get enlightened. And they grow as a man and they find their true purpose in life. Just like Malcolm X did. But when he was Malcolm Little, nobody would have never saw that coming. And Shaq sound like he the type of person that wouldn't have let Malcolm X grow. He would have criticized Malcolm X. Why wasn't you doing this then? Why? Like, what? That's a silly argument, man. So I don't be feeling Shaq on a lot of this stuff. Although he made the Shaq shoes affordable for the black community, for kids in the black community, a lot of stuff, man, he be off base. And he just strike me as the non-taken person. Non-taken black man. Non-taken. No offense taken when it should be. Peace.